Big Apple, we love hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
We love hip hop. Okay, let's do it.
All right, so I'm recording.
You already know what it is, man. Big Apple checking in, man. We love hip hop. Huh, come on, man. We love it, man. We love hip hop. You better love it.
Yeah.
Not a problem. What's happening, man? Let's talk about it, man.
Big Apple in the mother building.
You know what I'm saying? The whole politics, and you know what I'm saying? And the politics in the rap game come from Queens right now. You know what I'm saying? Listen. Music is the game.
Listen, bro.
Legend.
This is an honor, dog, to have you here with us on Zoom. You know what I mean? Being able to get the conversation going, get the full history, you know what I'm saying, of a legend. What were we saying before, Herc? A triple OG?
Toronto triple OG for sure when it comes to these hip hop streets and just in Toronto in general, just hip hop legend, well known.
Yeah,
Big
man.
Apple.
Yeah, we did a lot over there. We touched them swords, man. We did a lot over there, yo.
You did more than a lot over here. You inspired a lot of people.
Trust me, man.
You got a lot of people with their eyes open, like, oh, this is how you could do it over there.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's a good look. It was a good look. It's still a good look because a lot of people still know your name out here.
Yeah, I mean, if you in the business of keeping your name relevant, to keep your business relevant, so the kids better know your name. If they don't know your name and their parents know your name or heard of you or somebody heard of you, it's a good thing, especially if you're in business. But if you ain't in business, you don't even want nobody to know your name, you know?
Super facts. Super facts.
It all depends what you into. I live hip hop lifestyle, so hip hop and fashion. So the more they know, the better for my business.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And we're gonna be locking in because I want to get a full history of Big Apple. You know what I'm saying, from beginning to end. But off top, like how you been keeping up during these times, during this whole pandemic, because it's a global pandemic. And where are you at in the world right now?
I'm in South America, man. I'm in Guyana. This is my birthplace, so I'm back. I'm in Guyana. You know, when I tell niggas like, yo, where you at, man? Niggas like you niggas that ain't really that smart. I say I'm in Guyana. They think I'm in Africa. These niggas are stupid. that's how I know these niggas from the country now. But I'm in Guyana. That's my birthplace, so. I was out here right before the corona handling some business, and then the airports got locked down, so I can't go nowhere.
It extended your stay.
I can't go nowhere. It's in God's hands.
Yeah. And over the last, let's say, 5 years, give us all the different places that you've been living. Even not 5 years. Let's go a 10-year span. All the different places that you've been living over the last 10 years.
Oh, after 10 years. I lived in Atlanta for 7 years. I lived in LA for the last 8 years. That's how I'm 14, 15 years right there off the map.
Yeah.
Then I lived in Vegas for 2 years. So I got a place in Vegas and a crib in LA and a crib in Vegas. You know, it's only 4 hours apart. So, you know, you could be like from here to Montreal, we're here to Montreal. So I got a crib in Vegas for 2 years. Miami, I did Fort Lauderdale for a year. But, you know, I spent majority of my time just moving around in and out of, you know, I was just touching spots, man. I was like 52 states for the cake, man. I was like, wherever the cake at, I'm going to go, because if you want world domination, if that's what you want, you can't come from Toronto and Montreal don't know you, or Vancouver don't know you, or Edmonton. Even if they don't know you, you still got to go see them places. Like I did every spot in Canada from Nova Scotia to North Preston, because there's a difference when you go to Halifax.
Yeah, North Preston, East Preston.
Yeah, they call that down home. So I'm in the trenches one way in, one way out, and then I go over to Newfoundland, and then I go over to Winnipeg, Edmonton, Calgary, Quebec City. You know what I'm saying? So it's not everything in between in Ontario, from London to Kitchener to Windsor. I was hustling every city part of this Canada. Yeah. And then in America, it was 52 states, nigga. I was there, man. I'm there. Denver, Colorado, Portland. I'm places where, like, you know, you got to go shake the room up over there. So I was doing some, like, NBA shit, rapping and touring shit, and I'm not a rapper. I might hit a tour with, you know, a couple niggas that I know.
Yeah.
Or I might just go on my own independent tour, because I'm always selling.
Yeah.
It's like I was telling you earlier Friday. like Cameron said, you wasn't there, but you know what? I bet you Big Apple was, because like he was everywhere.
Facts.
Yeah, you know, and it was from young, like from, man, I was doing Miami. How could I be down 25 years ago when Master P had the ice cream truck, man? The niggas looking at Master P coming out of his truck with like 30 hoes and 20 niggas, no limit. Everybody in camouflage. My first time ever meet Master P, and it was like, yo, this shit is crazy. But that's 30 years ago. Yeah, so it's been so much, man. Seen so much. I've seen the gangster shit. I've seen the luxury. I've seen the bad shit. You know, like every city, man. Like I was there through the BMF wave in Atlanta. I seen what they affected America, man. So,
you ever meet Big Meech?
I met Big Meech. I know Big Meech.
Woo.
You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of gangsters, like from Haitian Jack, who Tupac used to rap about. You know, he's in the Dominican Republic. That's my guy. I know Mike Concepcion, who started all the gang shit.
Wow.
He's about 65 years old and rich as
well
fuck,
connected
in a wheelchair. And I know well connected. And Mike Concepcion, you know, music business, and you know, he's a gangster. His house is like the fucking Eden Center. It got a basketball court, 1,000-seater concert venue in the backyard, waterfalls, and he's in a wheelchair. He started the Crips.
Yo,
he's the originator. Yeah, with Tukey Williams, he started it.
So you're touching, like, you're influencing from the OGs, or you've been very influential from the OGs down to the young Gs, and even to the mid Gs, I would say, like the guys who are like just now in their early 30s and stuff. With the boy, he mentioned you on his new mixtape, as well as a few other tunes.
Big Apple had the white Hummer parked right in front of Fluid, and we be walking in that bitch like we already knew it.
Right? So
yeah,
give us a history lesson of what was going on in Toronto back in the days, like, let's say the first time, let's say flea market times.
Okay, so you talking about the boy, you talking about Drake?
Yes.
Okay, so flea market time, Younger Dundas.
Wow,
I came from
memories.
Yeah, I came from Brooklyn. Yeah, I think that's a long time, man. Mm-hmm. That's crack era still. That's still in the crack era.
Mm-hmm.
Young Street arcades.
Yeah, from Brooklyn to Janet Finch to downtown. That's my route.
Okay.
Brooklyn, yeah. So I'm a Brooklyn kid, and I'm over here, and then Janet Finch to downtown Toronto. Crack era business. Niggas couldn't buy no Timberlands nowhere. Nobody had Timberlands. Niggas couldn't get fly. Niggas ain't had no car canal. They had no urban department. They had no stores.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was we got it, you can come get it. It was Regent Park, it was Rexdale, it was Regent Park, Rexdale. That's all it was Point Blank. It was, it was Jellystone. It was it was that era. It was the crack. It was the racism. It was like young blacks. It was the go getter. You had to go get, man. There was no scamming going on.
Yeah.
I don't even think the Africans was doing scamming at that time. It was the crack era. So we in the flea market and niggas is selling crack right in front of us. Police on crack, undercovers is on crack, niggas mamas is on crack, and it's business going on. You had a jeweler beside me, but we bringing in all the clothes from New York. So I'm back and forth from New York, maybe every 2 weeks, and we selling a lot of clothes, man, and they thought we were selling more than clothes, but we wasn't selling more than clothes. We just selling clothes and mixed CDs. Was it CDs or no mixtape? Mixtape.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were selling mixtape. Yeah, Doo Wop, Ron G, Ike Love,
Rock the House.
Yeah, Rock the House. Rock the House was not even tipping the iceberg at that time, right?
No, that's true.
Rock the House came out mixed CD time.
Yeah, I was just about to say that when the tape to CD era switched.
Yeah, this was tape. This was New York only. No Atlanta, no Miami. It was just New York.
All right.
Not even Who Kid. Nah, Who Kid? Yeah, Who Kid was there. Who Kid was there.
DJ Clue,
no Who Kid.
DJ
No,
Clue,
no Who
Ron
Kid.
G.
Clue. Yeah, Ike Love, Tony Touch.
Mm-hmm. The Tony Touch 50 MCs mixtapes was dropping around them times.
Yeah, these are names that puppies don't know about. The puppies, you gotta be a big dog to know these names. Only puppies don't know about this. They probably wasn't even here yet.
This is why we do this, dog.
man, hats off to you, man. You got a lot. That's a lot of work, man. They got to give you your man, you and your man PK a check, man, because you know you giving people energy, man, when you do your podcast and all this energy. So that's flea market days, the crack era. You know, I brought Wu-Tang Clan into the flea market.
Wow.
I brought Old Dirty Bastard, Raekwon, Ghostface Killer. I brought Wu-Tang Clan in that motherfucking bitch, man. And when I brought Wu-Tang Clan in there, say if it was like early in the year, by the time the end of the year, I got a notice from the landlord that I gotta go. Because the police contacted the landlord. The police contacted the landlord and said, these guys bringing too much attention to that little place. Whatever they were trying to investigate, it was too much after we brought Wu-Tang Clan. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Old Dirty running through the flea market, going through the inner center. And you know, I was the first I don't like calling myself a promoter because you know, the promoter name became a joke after years. Yeah. Because we went a promoter, we went in our pockets, so made our money and spent the money. And if we won, we made our money. And if we lost the money. So that's, you know, we couldn't, you know, if we lost, we had to bounce back. But, you know, let me tell you something, man, hip hop was good and we didn't take no losses. Yeah. After all them concerts we did. So I had brought Wu-Tang Clan and Boot Camp Click. And that's the first time they ever met was when I brought them to Toronto. Wow. They never met before.
Wow. And they both from New York.
They didn't know each other.
That's crazy.
What year was that?
Yeah.
Man, you know what, man? It could be 94s, whatever. It's hard for me to remember. It could be like 92, 94. I think so. There's a fly out there with the actual concert. Yeah. Boot Camp Click and Wu-Tang Clan, man.
I'm gonna have to do my Googles and start and dig for that flyer right there.
Yeah, it was at the warehouse. It used to be called the government.
Wow. That one must have been crazy. Let me ask you something, Apple, because a lot of people don't know about your personal side of the history. People see you as this public figure, but like, what was your family dynamic like? Like, did you have both parents in the crib? Did you have a lot of brothers and sisters and stuff like that?
Yeah, 6 brothers, 2 sisters.
Wow.
Oh, that's a big fam.
Yeah.
6 brothers, 2 sisters?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Mama there, Papa there, but I'm not there. So, Mama there, Papa there, but I'm not there because I'm moving around. You know, I've been moving around because, you know, on the family side, like, it's like, damn, nigga, where you from, nigga? Like, I thought you from here. I thought you from over there. Niggas think I'm from everywhere. Because, you know, I touched school. I went to school in Oakland. I went to school in New York. I went to school in Toronto. That's it. I didn't go to more schools. I dropped out of school, but I was living everywhere. And my brothers and sisters, you know, they were functioning, going in the school system and all that. So that's how the whole structure. Mama, daddy, I wasn't there. That's kind of different, you know. You don't really hear it like that. But I was gone. I was already hit. I already had to go be a man at a certain age, 16. I want to be a man. I want to drive cars. I want jewelry. I want, you know. I'm in the crack era. It was a different push. The crack era.
So do you feel that that's what like gave your entrepreneurial spirit, just how everybody was getting it out there?
You know what it was? It was that I thought everybody was whack. So when I say whack, like I didn't want a job. I got off after I did my concert, and I said, okay, the crack era. You know what? We saw crack. We wasn't a crack dealer, but we saw some crack. You know, we so. When you get the money from that, then you say to yourself, this is all right, but I could do bigger than this because this is too easy, and I can do bigger than this without risking my freedom.
Yeah,
you know, without risking my freedom, I could do bigger than this. So when I said to myself, I could do bigger than this, that's when I started to do rap concerts. You know, and there's a lot of lists that I brought to Toronto, like Wu-Tang Clan Boot Camp Clique, MOP, KRS-One, Shaheem the Rugged Child, Nas, Coolio, J. Rue the Damager, Artifacts. But you know, we can't wear this on like there's no awards for this. You're just doing it because you know it's easy. And at that time, you know, the racism was so heavy. Racism was crazy. You know? Like they act like it's not no racism, but it was me and two of my mans was from all from New York, and we doing these concerts. And like, trust me, everybody was hungry to do shows back then. So you can get rappers for whatever price, cheap. Real cheap. You put niggas on a Greyhound, niggas be coming there because at that time, that was the hunger era, you know, because niggas wasn't rich off this music yet.
Yeah.
So, you know, politics.
The hunger was there.
Yeah, politics and business was just like not even existing because everybody want to work, man. You know what I'm saying? When I brought MOP and KRS-One, that was the first time KRS-One ever met MOP too. And he said, man, there's some grimy niggas. So
that's crazy.
Hey, remember when you're young, you always looking from the outside in, but when you really in the mix, then you can realize, man, you know what? There's a lot of loopholes in this. This shit ain't really, you know, a birthday party. This shit is something else. This is fugazi, man. So when I knew it was fugazi, I knew how to attack everything. It's fugazi. Dirty, me and Raekwon had a talk like way back, and we still friends. You know what I'm saying? It's my brother. He's like, I told him way back, this shit like wrestling. It's fake. The only thing real is the bullet in your ass and the money. That's it.
Yeah.
So either you're gonna get the money or you're gonna get a bullet in your ass. That's the only thing that's real to me in this music shit.
Yeah. Even like before we move forward, because there's a lot of ground that we want to cover here. What was one of the pushbacks that you got back in those days when you were trying to do those shows?
Never had a problem with the owners of the club because, you know, we tell them like this, yo, nigga, we bring on a concert. We ain't paying no money. We need your venue. You can keep the bar. I already learned that game from the beginning. I'm not giving you no money I'm not giving no money for your club. And we're bringing some international talent and you charging me for the club. And, we're going to break our pockets. We already got to pay for hotels. We got to pay for airfare or ground transportation. We got to pay for niggas' food. We got to pay for niggas' weed. We got to pay for bitches.
Riders.
We got to pay for underwear. Yeah, so, but we're going to pay for a venue too. So, let me tell you something, yo. We ain't paying for you. We were like real straight with business, like straight up. It was like aggressive and letting the person that owned the venue know this is how we play. You know what I'm saying? We went in those rules, and they say, okay, no problem, take it.
Guerrilla style. Yeah.
They respected the business. So and then the police, they try to get problem, but we never even had a fight at one of our concerts. So, you know, only thing it was kind of like crazy was niggas trying to break in, but you know, fuck, I would break in too if I couldn't get it.
Yeah, those are big concerts, yo. Okay, I'm gonna.
If you can have concerts with no violence happening, that's a plus. That's a plus.
Yeah. It's almost
they couldn't really say
that. Yeah,
we don't no violence, yo. I make sure I had great security. We were young, but we wasn't retarded. So we were advanced students. We were smart with it, man. Like, you know, cause remember at that time, like you had 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds in New York making $1 million a week selling drugs. Kids. So you have to be smart. If you can sell drugs, you can sell anything.
Yeah. Come on, man. See, these are the type of jewels, and this is why we're doing this.
Yo, this is knowledge on top of knowledge, man.
Facts. Big Apple's world.
I get guap, I shine, I stay up, 7,000, I keep grams on my neck.
Man, Big Apple's world. Okay,
right off of Young Street.
I got locked up. Yeah. Big Apple's world. I got locked up after that. I opened a business. So when we got kicked out the flea market, that's when I opened Big Apple's world, right by YMCA right there.
Yeah. Gloucester Street or
Gloucester Street.
Yeah.
Right across from the fire station. It was good. You come to my store, you might see Gerald Rod on the couch, just relaxing. You might see Loon on the couch. You might see Stack Bundles just chilling in the store.
R.I.P.
You might see Gravy, the nigga named Gravy who played Biggie Smalls.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That was just hanging out in my business because I made my business feel like New York. I feel like Brooklyn. I made it feel like damn, like everything is just regular, 7-Eleven across the street. And kids used to come in the store and they see niggas just like that. They, listen to their music. And, the reality is like everybody is normal, so that's what was my environment for the environment.
Yeah.
That was my setup. And then in the nighttime, was it around there? I think, in the nighttime, that was Hummer days. Yeah,
nighttime. When the Hummer, sorry to interrupt you, because when you see the Hummer outside, you're like, oh, Apple's at the store.
Apple's there.
Yeah. That's when I'm over there, So that was cool. That was cool. I thought you was talking about Big Apple's World when I had a TV show.
You already know, man. I'm not a rapper, cuz.
We're going to get to that.
Okay.
Because Big Apple's World is a brand that has transformed into so many different things over the years. But the first iteration of Big Apple's World I remember was the store.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And we doing all this without being friendly. Like, I wasn't friendly. Like, the crew I had was not friendly. We wasn't friendly. We wasn't bad. Because if we want to get bad, I could just go call the bad boys and they can handle the business. But we were just friendly, not friendly with locals because it was a different mentality, man. And I never really liked having friends when I was younger. I don't really like friends, from young. I already knew that. Like, we all watched the movie with Tupac. We already watched Juice. Juice told me don't trust nobody. Like movie. These movies, not only entertainment, it's real life.
Yeah.
So we got young, man, we ain't trusting nobody. So we wasn't trying to be friendly with rap promoters or the fake ass record companies over there had in Canada or anybody that worked for the fake ass record companies. Like, we don't need you, nigga. Like, I'm from New York. I just make a call, or I just go to New York and I see niggas, or I just go in the niggas' neighborhood and look for a nigga. Like, it's that easy.
Yeah.
When you have confidence, it's that easy. But yeah, Toronto, no, we're not friendly. It wasn't even with Screwface Capital and all that. That's not my story, because the people I know, from the Jamaicans to the Nova Scotians to the other Caribbean people, everybody was getting it in. Like, you have to go get it in. We came from a different push. That's all it is.
Yeah.
I go to Montreal, I go on St. Catherine streets, I go into the Burgundy, I go to places like they're getting it in over there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, y'all, it's only 5 hours away. You guys don't even know no fucking body, don't know where to eat, don't know where to get a haircut, don't know bitches, don't know niggas. And you want to talk about rap music and you don't know niggas for, because when you go over there 4 or 5 hours away east, yeah, it is east, yeah. It's like, it's a different country. Them niggas, you go in the store speak English, they speak French to you.
Facts.
Yeah, so,
True.
Yeah, we wasn't friendly in Toronto.
There's a lot to explore. The world's bigger than the blocks.
Yeah.
Lots to explore.
The block is cool, but then you want to, you got to graduate.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm gonna throw something at you. I'm not a rapper. I'm a hustler who could rap good.
Okay. What that was is at that time, niggas was talking about jets and moving around. Nigga, we was already hopping. I wasn't doing jets at that time, but I was definitely doing airplanes and airports. So every time I'm at the airport, white people will say, "You a rapper?" They came from the white people. I said, "Nah, I don't rap." He said, "You look like a rapper." Damn. So I said, "Man, I'm gonna make a T-shirt, but I won't put some on the back of it." Then I said, "Man, I'm just a hustler that can rap good," And then I started making shirts, and I started campaigning it with rappers that really ain't rappers, like Jim Jones and Loon and anybody I knew. and we had no internet at that time. So, you know, we couldn't take advantage of online sales and all that. So I had to either go to, actually, Toronto is where you really had to get it. You had to get it in Toronto.
The T-shirts.
I wasn't even doing wholesale. I wasn't trying to. I was just, however you got it, man. We wasn't thinking the bigger picture.
I seen Ludacris wearing one of those, dog.
Everybody, because I was still moving around. I'm still moving around. But I might be in Toronto for a week, and then I'm gone for 2 months. That's how I was playing it. And you know, my nigga Max B, he was my campaigner, Max B. You know, Max B, after he had the fallout with Jim, could have been my artist, but I just didn't really want to be around too much rappers because that's a lot of babysitting being around rappers. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to be around a rapper. You got to become the best friend of, you know, when you're young, to entertain, you know, entertain it, because there's a lot to entertain. Yeah. You know.
How did you get that Dipset connection anyway? Like, because you were one of the big people who were influential about that Dipset North. And you know what I mean? Like, they were all up in the store. You mentioned J.R. Ryder. Like, how did that Dipset connection start, dog?
I was going to Harlem. And you go to Harlem world, it's like, you just meet niggas. You know, everything's an organic thing. It's not no internet. Niggas can't say, oh, I seen you on Instagram. I know this nigga from Instagram. Oh, I know this nigga from YouTube. Nah, it's like, I know this nigga from the street. Yeah, that's how it is. And I even brought Karen Civil and Duke the God to Toronto to do a Dipset search. Cause, you know, I said, man, this guy's like Point Blank over here, and like there's Regent Parks and there's Galloways and, you know, there's Rexdale. There's a lot of hoods out there, and y'all really need to come fuck with the hood rappers, man. You know, come fuck with the hood rappers. So I said Duke the God, and I said, this is like big visionary thing. And I'm like, come over there. Duke the God and Karen Silver. Karen Silver was Cameron's assistant at the time, and she became Duke the God assistant. And
yeah, and hold that thought for a quick second. For the people out there who don't know who Karen Civil is, well, we'll start with Duke the God. Duke the God is like the manager, kind of a way, in like the business guy for Dipset.
That's Cameron's cousin also, and was controlling all the mix CDs, and yeah, he's Dipset.
Yeah, and Karen Civil now is like a major manager, connector of people to other people. You know what I'm saying? She was handling stuff for Nipsey Hussle. She was handling stuff for you know, like you mentioned Jim Jones and a plethora of other like major artists, YG, all types of people. You know what I'm saying? So continue.
Karen Civil can call Michelle Obama. That's how she went from hip hop all the way to that level.
Exactly. So continue. So you brought them down to Toronto so that they can do the Dipset North search.
Yeah. We brought them to Fluid, and we was charging niggas like $1 or 50. Yeah, but maybe I think it was about 100 to perform for them niggas. So if you perform, I forgot how many people we had signed up. If you perform and they liked you, guess what? They liked you. But guess what? They didn't like nobody, because whoever they performed, they didn't like them. Yeah. And like all the hoods didn't come out because, you know, there was probably people didn't know if it was real or whatever the case could be. They didn't, you know, people always doubt themselves, like, or doubt the situation and all that, but they never picked nobody. You know, Champagne Poppy was in the city, Tory Lanez was in the city, but it was a different era, it was a different energy, it was a different time. You had stars that was going to be the future that nobody knew.
Yeah. Last Dipset question. There was a big controversy that was going on over here about J.R. Ryder. Can you give us some clarity to that?
Well, I was bringing J.R. Ryder maybe every year. Like I said, you can come to my store and see him just hanging out. So it was just like regular. So I was bringing him, and how it goes. I was bringing him, and when you bring in an art, I'm not his manager, nothing like that. I was just the big man that was bringing him out here. We was always getting some money. So the people that I might hook up for a collab or whatever the case could be, it'd be one-time situation. Collab or niggas really wasn't shooting videos back then. Yeah. And they go do the song. But then what happened when you start venturing out on your own and making businesses or deals on your own, you're gonna run into problems because you're not from here. You don't know this. You crossing people now, not like he was doing it on purpose, just not knowing the landscape of Toronto.
Yeah.
And go and do all that. You might do a song with a nigga from Parkdale, you might do a nigga from Barrie, and you might do a nigga from Galloway. These are all different type of niggas. These are different mentalities. You
and
know
it's
what I'm saying?
Small city.
Yeah, it's small.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not like you in Brooklyn and then you're going to Queens and you're going to Harlem. It's all different. It's different worlds. This ain't no different world. Everything is one world, one city. Like, I don't care if you're from Oakville. It's still one city. It's small. You can bear hug it. You know, the police talk to each other. So,
yeah,
I think what happened was because when he ventured out on his own, then he had recycled some lyrics. That's all I really heard because I never really heard nothing. Yeah, I never really heard nothing else bad. And he recycled some lyrics and niggas checked him on it. Yeah. But it was nothing to do with me. It's something that he just ventured out. You know, you went outside, you know, and ventured out for an extra $1, whatever the case, and then niggas didn't like that. You recycle the lyric.
Yeah.
But he don't have to recycle lyrics because the nigga was fucking spitter.
Yeah, he got bars for days. So you started a magazine eventually. Was that the magazine first or the TV show?
I think the same time.
Interesting.
Because I got locked up and I'm in the Dawn jail and shit. I'm like, man, this Hummer's coming out.
So, okay, stop there for a second. Hummer. You got locked up. We're breezing past that. Why'd you get locked up, fam?
Oh, conspiracies to bullshit, you know, forcible confinement. Just, you know, when they want to rack up charges, they rack up charges. It's a rack up. You know?
That's
like tough
very easily they rack up. Some can be as small as a little whatever. You got 90 charges.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then
when you go to court, you're only maybe guilty of 2.
Yeah, you know, and then you gotta go beat it up, and a lawyer, and then you gotta hire a lawyer. I probably fired 3-4 lawyers on cases that were fugazi. I even threw milk on a nigga. I threw milk on a nigga that wanted to be a rapper, and they charged me with assault with a weapon. This is when I said, man, I can't play in Toronto no more. That was my last time living in Toronto. I threw milk and they charged me with assault with a weapon, man. So
how did that?
Shit was.
How did that situation pop off for you? They can hold this milk.
I just threw the milk on the nigga. I opened up the stool at him and went all over his face. So he looked like he just got somebody busted in his face. And I'm like, and then the next hour, police call him out. I had Jim Jones in town that night. And that next hour, I'm at the King Hotel. And next hour, I'll get a phone call from the police. I'm like, how y'all get my number?
Wow.
So the shit got too scary because the place is too small, you know, when you're doing big things. And I'm like, I really can't entertain these people, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Wow. But I got locked up, and then I said, when I get out, I gotta go see the mayor of Toronto because I gotta try to complain on it. I gotta complain. Like I gotta see the mayor. Like you guys try to, you guys try to kill my character, man. I ain't no rapper, nigga. Like I'm a businessman, and you trying to kill my character, yo. You guys locking me up. Your police boys are locking me up and putting all these charges, and I'll be charged and come out of jail, put on a nice suit, went to see the mayor, give him I'm not a rapper t-shirt, and then his assistant said, could you please talk to the Toronto's about gun violence? Because they had gun violence back then. And I said, man, for sure. Yeah, I said, you know, I could do it, but I don't want to do it. So you gotta get somebody else for that job. That ain't for me to tell the people how to act out there.
Yeah. So then
that's what they.
So you started the TV show and the magazine. Why and when?
Why? Because I wanted to show the police that I'm a good character. I'm a good character. Whatever you guys thought I was doing, it's not what I'm doing. I'm in the entertainment business. You know, just because you don't see BMG or Universal fake names all beside my resume, But guess what? They on my resume. They were my clients. Not BMG, but Universal and Koch. They're my clients.
Yeah,
but so
yeah.
I just wanted y'all to know that, you know, you could be black and you can have nice cars and big jewelry, and you know, you could drive with your shirt off if you want. You can have tattoos and do business. This is American dream, but not in Canada. There's like, he's doing this and he's doing that. So I just did it for that. And I gave my lawyer, I said, "Go get me on TV." He says, "I'm gonna give you one of my guys who's a black lawyer," and I gave him like $3,000. I said, "Man, I don't know nothing about TV, but I just want to do a show. I'm a former pilot." I gave him 3 Gs, and then the like then talked for 2 months, and I'm like, "What's up, yo?" He's like, "Yo," he went to Sun TV, and they said, somebody in the boardroom said everybody loved your show, but somebody said that guy's too real for TV. So Sabotage, and that was his story to me. Right. So I know he pocketed the 3,000. So I looked at him like, man, I give a black man a chance, and he failed. So I just went to Sun TV myself, and I bought the airtime. I bought the airtime. So if the airtime was like $100 a night, I told him I only want to give them 50. I was always telling them what I want to give them. Yeah. And I gave them whatever they asked for, and then I just brought my dats after we filmed every Wednesday, and they aired it the Wednesday night, and it was crazy. You seen real shit on TV.
That's crazy. So
the fact that you did that's crazy. Yeah, man. Tell them I want to pay you $50. Real rate's what? $100. I'll give you 50.
Yeah. Because I know ain't shit going on, but fortune telling around that time ain't shit going on. How much could fortune telling? Like, I'm buying airtime. Like, it's I'm coming in like I'm just buying airtime, yo.
The fortune teller. I remember her. The fortune teller lady was crazy.
Yeah.
Yo,
Cleo, Miss Thatcher or whatever, Miss Cleo.
Miss Cleo, they had all types of white ladies, all types of shit on that channel.
Yeah, there's that time where it's just, that's it, the call up dating service.
Yeah.
That hour. I told her I want later the better, because I'm in the club, and after the club I want to go watch this. You know, I want to go watch this. So I wanted the club after if you didn't go to the club or you come after the club, you can catch it, and it's entertaining, because man, you might see us anywhere, because I was traveling. Everything is independence. Whatever Master P and Dame Dash and these niggas was preaching, we was already doing. It's independent, black independent, black independent, black independent. Now 20 years or 50, however much years it is right now, black independence is the key. It's the way. It's the power, you know.
Yep.
Champagne Papi, aka Drake. He's mentioned you about 3 times now, as we said in the beginning of our conversation here.
Back when Big Apple sold dreams, I stuck to my own thing.
When was the first time you met him?
Man, Champagne Papi, let me tell you something. He's a great guy. He's the biggest artist in the world. He's Elvis Presley. He's Bob Marley. He's the Beatles. There's no topping not what he did and how he did it, but who he is. That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of stress. He's the greatest artist and the biggest. When I say greatest, the accomplishments is the greatest.
Yeah.
Right? They need to give him the city. They need to give him the country, what he did for opportunity for other people, not his own success of $1 and big houses, and for other people. He gave a lot of people opportunity, and that's why he's the greatest, the biggest, and the smartest, because he surpassed everybody that was laughing at him, everybody that was looking at him with a funny eye. He got humongous on him. And the first time I met Champagne Papi was at a club named Avocado. It was one of my family members. He had a restaurant/club, maybe like about 50-seater on Adelaide or Richmond Street, one of them 2 streets. And Champagne Papi was over there every Wednesday doing karaoke.
Okay.
He was doing karaoke. So I think he could do like a DMX voice, a Jay-Z's voice. He could do anybody's voice.
That's crazy.
He was singing. He was doing everything he was doing back then. No, now back then. He's a natural. I never looked at Degrassi. I never looked at Degrassi a day in my life. So I didn't know nothing I didn't know nothing about no Degrassi. All I know was this. He was this cool kid, and I think he was Melanie Fiona was doing the karaoke every Wednesday. Does that at the restaurant doing karaoke? That was the part of the entertainment right there. And then every Wednesday we was doing Fluid in the night. So I go over there, and you had a couple of Toronto rappers, like Toronto Raptors in there. And then anytime they was doing a movie, that time. So Megan Good was over there. They were doing a movie called Honey.
I was in there.
Megan Good was there. Honey. I remember Honey very fondly.
Yeah, so we had Toronto had a little Black Hollywood running around that time. So Megan Good, Little Romeo, like it was a little Black Hollywood going on right over there. So that's where the whole Fluid thing came in, and that's when I first met him. And then, we're not friends. So I'm a little older than you. We're not friends. You just doing karaoke. And at that time, it's hard to listen to because 50 Cent had the game dominated.
True.
So we only liked one thing, 50 Cent. Everybody liked 50 Cent. Everybody liked 50 Cent. So you really couldn't really listen to nothing else because what he did was, and Interscope Records was brainwash the whole world to that's how you really want to be as a rapper. Bulletproof vest, get shot, go to jail. You wanted that type of story. Nobody wanted to hear good kid. So it was like, and then the Softy singing what I wasn't in style. It was aggressive. It was all aggressive.
Yeah.
And that's how the Fluid line came in with me and Drake, because I used to be going to the Avocado, and I think one time we went on, and the one time over, the Hummer was parked there. Hummer was always parked in front of Fluid.
Big Apple had the white Hummer parked right in front of Fluid, and we be walking in that bitch like we already knew it.
Yes. On a Wednesday, Thursday night, and we went into the club. So and that's the time he was beefing with Meek Mills, and I told niggas like, yo, Meek Mills was saying he don't write his lyrics. Man, he wrote that, nigga. He wrote that. You can't make believe that. He wrote that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
what ghostwriter is gonna give you bars about like guys who are living over here and all types of like, come on, man.
Yeah. So that's the first time, and then that's the first time So when that Fluid line came in on his project, he had said my name. He had said my name before that too, because I think at one time I was like, I was on tour with Belly. We was on a Snoop Dogg tour with Belly. I was with Belly because I was working with Belly and Capital Prophets and Masari, and we was on tour with Snoop Dogg and Ice Cube, and I was always making jokes of Drake at that time. Not like making jokes like dissing him. Like I was just more like laughing at this nigga. And then he put in a song, Ask Apple about the girls that I get though. So I'll be on the phone with a bitch that you never know. So if I was a rapper, I could retaliate, but I ain't no rapper, so I can't retaliate. So it's just like, okay, it's funny. You know what I'm saying? It's funny. That was the first time. But that was the first time, and then, years later, we seen each other. One time, now it's like 4 or 5 years later.
Yeah.
I met him again in Toronto when we was doing a video with Masari and some girl singers, and he pulled up with Future, and they had the Phantom. I don't know when Drake was moving around in the Phantom.
Not Future, the singer rapper, Future the Prince, his manager once DJ. Keep going.
Yeah, and running around Toronto with the Phantom, and then we spoke, and he was still low key. He was still accessible. He was still a nice guy, and so we seen each other after that. So it was never no bad energy. Never. Like I'm a man, and you're a younger man, and there's no energy. There's no energy like to be aggressive because it's not an aggressive time. And then a couple years later, I'm in the club. I'm living in Atlanta at this time, and you got a club I used to go to called Legends, and every Wednesday, Thursday or Wednesday, whatever. And I'm in the club, and Young Jeezy's in there, and Floyd Mayweather. And I said, and he called my phone. You know, I said, yo, come to the club, nigga, come to the club. Floyd Mayweather, Young Jeezy, Trapper Die, I go, mad bitches. He said to me, one of the smartest things, man, ever. Like, I understood what he said then, but I really didn't. I understand it more now as a full man. He said, I ain't ready to come to the club. And he said, come to the studio. And then after the club, I went to the studio. And that's when you that smart, knowing that you don't need to come outside and play yet, but who give a who's in the club? I ain't ready to come out there yet. There's a time to come out. And I guess his time was, the future that he's presented to everybody right now.
Yeah.
The biggest dog in the game. So it's like, I think he knew back then how to play the game smart, and while niggas was playing it on emotion.
Yeah. You told me a story, we were talking a few days ago about Karen Civil, you know what I mean, to bring Karen Civil back into the conversation. And now that we're talking about Champagne Papi, can you retell that story for us now that we're here on the podcast?
Oh yeah, one time Karen Civil, she had called my phone looking for Drake's number, and I said, man, why you think I got Drake's number for? She goes, because when he comes to New York, he says your name always in the office when he comes up there. I said, for real? I said, what, this about some money? And she go, yeah. And I said, okay, give me an hour. I'm gonna get his number. And I called a kid named Jake. Jake used to manage the weekend.
Yeah.
And I said, Jake, tell Drake to call me, man. And about an hour later, 2 hours later, Drake called me, hopped on the phone. That conversation, stays with me and God and Drake. And I said, yo, Drake, just call Karen Civil, man. And in about the next 2 months, I seen in the Source magazine, Drake for that Paige with LRG. And that was the deal that Karen Civil wanted to hook up with Drake.
Nice.
So,
nice.
We're not a blocker and we're not a hater.
Yeah.
And, we straight congratulate her. But, that's how that game went down. So
nice.
I don't know from there where after he did the LRG ad, I don't know where it went. I don't know if it was a one-time thing, but I know in the next 2-3 months, I see him in the Source full page.
Nice. And even with Karen Civil, she was well connected and doing a lot of work with Nipsey Hussle back in the days. And you've had a lot of run-ins with Nipsey Hussle, like not run-ins like bad ones, but like positive ones, right? Tell us your first Nipsey Hussle encounter.
I consider Nip a friend.
R.I.P. Nip.
When I moved to LA, and I took my newspaper out there, I'm like, I moved to LA. I moved to Crenshaw and Adams area. So if you ever in LA and you go to Crenshaw and Adams area, it's not luxury. It's not luxury over there, right there. That's like a hood is like a hood might have nice houses. It's not like the projects. It's hood.
Yeah.
And the hood and the projects is different. So when the niggas say from Compton, there's good parts of Compton, bad parts of Compton. When you say you from the like Crenshaw area, there's bad parts like the rolling 60s, the whole 60s, and then you can go up the block and then you're in Baldwin Hills, black millionaires. So it's tricky from the way however you turn on the street. And
wow.
I asked somebody, who's the hottest nigga out here, yo? And the nigga told me Nipsey Hussle, and the girl at that time I was talking to told me Nipsey Hussle. And she was a lady. She wasn't a girl. I was with a lady, and she said Nip Hussle. That's how you know a nigga popping, when a lady, not a young punk, a lady said, "Oh, Nip."
A grown lady.
Popping.
Yeah.
Cause that's
older woman. Yep.
Yeah, shit, Nip popping.
Yeah.
And I said, I need to take me to Nip. And the kid took me over to Nip. And Nip came out of his store, the same store he got popped at. He came out with a computer and says, yo, like a PC. He says, yo, we introduced himself, diplomatic guy. We both young and he's still diplomatic. And looking like Snoop Dogg. And I'm saying, this nigga look like Snoop Dogg. And the nigga go, man, I got my music on here, man, but I don't know how to work this computer, but I'm gonna fit to learn. He said, I didn't know how to use a computer. I can't even check an email.
Wow.
I said, man, don't worry. I said, man, look at you. I'm in the same boat, so I can't even, and then I got a CD from him. He gave me a CD, and that was Neighborhood Nip. That's, it was Neighborhood Nip. That's not how we got his name. He had that name. He's from the neighborhood, and his name is Nip. So everybody call him Nip.
Yeah.
And because his community is like, you can't be from a neighborhood as a rapper and you live in a building or you live in a project and the elders don't know about you. The elders. I mean, it's kind of it's not culture. Everybody gotta know about you if you're from that neighborhood.
Yeah.
Oh,
you're
over
back.
there. Yeah, that's PK. That's PK. Oh, that's Friday. And the nigga's 55 years old because that's what you call community. That's the difference between like a hood and a project and not a hood and a project. They got to be familiar with who you are. And then look what he turned into after that. It took him about 7 years, 8 years. It took him about 7 years, 6 years with the help of, Steve Lobel and, his general Big U. If you don't know who Big U is,
OG.
Google Big U. Big with a U. And then if you don't know who Steve LaBelle is, I can't even talk to you. Hip hop don't know you.
Yo, it's crazy because you have a history that you've spanned and seen so many different things, right? But you've also dealt with like a lot of your own like adversity. You've had like a lot of health issues. You beat cancer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, beat cancer. Like I seen Kevin Gates. He said, "Man, I can't die."
Yeah.
I can't die.
And then like
I'm one of them.
A few years ago, I was watching on your Instagram, and I was like, you were showing that you got your leg amputated.
Yeah.
So can you take us through like what that chain of events?
Before my leg, I got my toe cut off. My big toe, my right foot, and I got that cut off, and that was in LA at the Beverly Hills Hospital. I got my toe cut off, diabetes. So I got gangrene in my toe. And doctor said, yo, we got to cut. I said, man.
That's crazy.
Cut.
Wow.
I got to cut. Yeah, or the joint is going to spread. So they cut the toe. And then I was walking with like a foot cast like 6 months. And I started taking it serious, and that's when I ran into Dr. Sebi, and he became my doctor.
Wow.
And Dr. Sebi became my doctor, got me on the CMOS and the blood purifier. I got on all his products, pills and, and I didn't take insulin no more. And I started getting better Everything started working again, and I started to heal better. Dr. Sebi is a great man. I'm like, out of everybody, that's one of the persons I'm glad I ever even met. Because he's legendary now, and he was legendary back then.
Yeah.
No,
you know what I'm saying? So nobody really get to meet Dr. Sebi. Nobody. You got to be elite. He was Michael Jackson's doctor. He was Magic Johnson when he had HIV. He was left out.
Wow.
He's a legend. This Larry man. He's a black man from Honduras. Legendary.
Yeah.
So he was my doctor, and now his grandson passed on to his grandson, Isaiah. He's on Instagram, Dietary Solutions. So if you want to ever get Dr. Sebi products, you can get it from the grandson, who is my friend. Dietary Solutions on Instagram. And so after that, and I'm also living in Vegas maybe like 3-4 years after my toe cut off. And I lost my leg in Las Vegas.
Wow.
So, yeah, my leg, they said it got gangrene. and
So even after they cut the toe, it still spread.
it didn't spread. What happened was because I got healed and all that. It's just something like when you were diabetic, even though I was all good and reading all good, it's something that just triggered, and my other toe got infected. And then when the other toe got infected, you know, it's a bad odor. That's how you know something going on, because you don't be checking your feet and all that. Sometimes, you know, like you don't know what's going on, you know. So by the time I check my feet, because of the smell, I went right to the doctor. You got to go to the doctor. Niggas, go to the doctor, yo, for real. Go check yourself out, man. If you don't feel right, go to the doctor. Not
100%.
Even just do your blood work, just to, you know, even if you don't believe in doctors, you still got to believe in blood work. Blood work don't lie. And
100%.
Yeah, right. The blood work don't lie. You know, men could lie, but the blood work ain't gonna lie. That's your blood.
Yeah.
And then they told me, like, I gotta make a decision. You gotta cut my leg off. And I'm like, shit. How are you gonna cut it? They go, we're gonna cut below the knee. So you're still gonna have a knee, but we're gonna cut right below it before this shit spread. Because if it goes spread and it goes above your knee, and when it's come time to get a prosthetic, it's gonna be more difficult for you. So I said, yo, cut that shit, man. It gotta go. I wasn't really tripping after that. I had like an hour to make a decision.
Wow.
And then so the next day, surgery, cut it off. And it's been about two years without a leg, and then a year to fully heal, and then I got a prosthetic the following year. So I'm still walking and talking, moving. I mean, walking and moving around and shit like that. So I went without a year, without a leg, and I was just moving around, still doing everything I got to do out of a scooter, electric scooter.
Yeah, I was seeing I was watching you on your Instagrams, like your stories and stuff like that. You're posting 1 and 2 stuff, like your journey through after losing your leg. Yeah. Did you suffer phantom pain?
Oh man, I had a lot, man. It's just like it's nightmares. Like, no, it's not no more. I was in a lot of hallucinations. So I was like an addict for like maybe 4 months. Like addict. Like I gotta go pop pills until I ran, and then until you know, this girl of mine put me on the CBD, and then it calmed me down, and then now the CBD fully in my body, and I take CBD every day.
Yeah.
And the CBD calmed me down, man. It was just like no more phantom pains. I don't have the shit no more.
Wow. Okay. From CBD, eh?
CBD. Oh, you got to get it, man. I was on the CBD.
CBD is a lifesaver, man.
Yeah. CBD, man. If you don't believe in it, you better believe it.
Were you using topical or you were ingesting it?
I was doing the drops. The drops.
Okay.
And then I went to this trade because, you know, I'm in the marijuana business too, cannabis, and I go to the biggest trade shows in Las Vegas of all the, and then I was like, man, CBD toilet paper, CBD toothpick, CBD tea, CBD. I'm like, I don't even know what to believe no more. I did before, because everything is CBD toothpicks. I'm like, what is this going to do for me? Man, but CBD, when China start making CBD, I'm like, man, like, it's just bootleg or what? But CBD is in everything. They're using the CBD to sell their products. CBD toothpaste, CBD, everything.
Everything. Anything and everything. That's CBD crazy. Can go into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not psychoactive, right? So
yeah. So I'm an amputee, and I have a prosthetic, and nothing stops nothing. Like nothing stops nothing, and I'm fully handicapped. That with a brain that's like could be the president of America, which anybody could be the president.
Well, you still look good, you know. Pause. You know what I'm saying? You know, your skin's looking good. You're still looking like a young man, and you got the drip. You got the drugs drip going on. So
yeah,
the drugs clothing company is well and good. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, PK. I got some Sweet Daddy Shiki too. This Sweet
Yeah.
Daddy
You see that Sweet Daddy Sneaky? He's a Parkdale legend, man. He's a triple OG in Parkdale, man.
If they don't know
He goes
Sweet
way
Daddy,
back.
if they don't know Sweet Daddy Shiki, man.
Yeah, I used to live literally like my mom lives like 2-3 blocks, like not even like 2 streets away from Sweet Daddy Sneaky's house. I know he doesn't live in Parkdale no more, but where he used to live,
Yeah,
it's right around the corner from where like I lived for like 20 years.
he's
You know what I mean? So,
Canadian black man, or you don't know?
pardon me?
He's a Canadian black man, or you don't know? I know he's not a West Indian.
Can't really hear you. It's chipping.
He's not a West Indian. Is he a Canadian black man?
I think he's Canadian. Yeah, I'm not sure if he's West Indian.
Yeah, you don't really meet too much Canadian black men that age.
No, he's an old timer, and just like to see him and talk to him, it's a sight. It's a blessing.
Yeah.
Wow, I want to meet
So the
this
man
guy.
has so much history.
Yeah.
The man has so much history. The man used to fight the Rock's dad, and before wrestling in like Parkdale bars. Like
Rocky Maivia.
the man's deep.
Yeah.
The man's deep, bro. The man's deep. Sweet Daddy
crazy.
Sneaky is deep.
Yeah, I put that picture up. I seen that you like it. I said, man, PK's in the loop. He know who.
Yeah,
He knows
I
this
put
man.
that you with the dots. I be
Yeah,
using
yeah,
that. I use that a lot. PK knows you. That's what I use for my people in my hood, and I put the 2 dots over it.
Okay, respect.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause also you did something with Big Money. Shout out Big Money. Free up. You know what I mean?
Oh, Big Money.
With the
Yeah,
cash
Big Money.
route.
Yeah, Big Money.
You know what I mean?
If he wasn't like in America, you like when you're in Canada and you can't, you got criminal record and you can't go to America. And guess what? London and Europe, they don't need you. London and Europe don't need no Canadian rapper.
Yeah.
They don't need
Yeah.
it. They can't even come to Canada and pop off. And they make millions of dollars in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
They can't even get them, and they can't even get America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can't get Canada. They just get Europe. So how you from Canada and you can't get Europe because they don't really fuck with it. They can act like it. 1%. They like their own rappers over there.
True.
Mm-hmm.
And a nigga from America, 52 states, they're not even thinking about Canada. It's not even in your wave in your brain levels to think about Canada.
Yeah.
Fact.
I'm from Atlanta. I ain't thinking about Canada ever in my life. So if I go shoot a nigga, rob a nigga, whatever, and I get caught, that's good. That's for my neighborhood. That's my neighborhood. Know what the fuck I am and know what I did. I'm not thinking about going to Canada. I don't need to go to Canada. And then a nigga, Canada is like, man, I got a criminal record. I can't go to the States. Europe, fuck the God. Europe is so big, they don't need you. And Canada can't support your music. You can't go to Winnipeg. You can't, you can go to Winnipeg, you can go to Calgary, you can go to Edmonton. What the fuck you think out there? There's farmers out there. They don't listen to this. It's not the most popular music in Canada, hip hop. You know that.
Yeah. It's
crazy.
arguable.
So, it's kind of hard. So it's either be a real criminal and have no criminal record. You know what I'm saying? Like you be who you ought to be, or you be smart like Drake, or you be smart and you don't want to get them no problems because you need America.
Yeah.
America don't need you.
Yeah.
So that's a big problem right there that, because I know this is a hip hop show. I don't really know, talking about me is great, but I want to talk a lot about the hip hop. America don't need you, yo. And Canada can't even support you. Montreal don't even fucking need you because that's Quebec, that's French. They don't even like English rap.
Yeah.
So,
They were worried about separating.
Yeah, delete Montreal out of you even thinking of patterns. They don't need you. So you got to go relax. Vancouver is straight Asian and Indian out there and white. They don't need a nigga rapping. They don't need you. Let an Indian rapper go for a rap or Asian rapper go rap.
Yeah.
And get Vancouver. And then Edmonton, Winnipeg, and all in between, man, I can't. Shit's ugly looking. Newfoundland, they ain't buying your shit. You got to get to be Drake status to get that type of love, because that's That's more like pop, hip hop.
Hip hop, yeah.
Yeah, hip hop pop. But in America, champagne pop, you get everybody. You get the hood, he get the jail, he got the female, he get everybody, because in America it plays out a lot different. He got the support system. I got my niggas right in Buffalo, New York, like not too far from Toronto, 2 hours. They from Buffalo, New York, the armpit of America. It's the armpit. There's no outlet. You have a better chance from Toronto. And my niggas did it. Griselda Records.
Yeah.
Westside Gun Conway, Benny.
Yeah.
They did it.
Popping.
They did it with a pot, not even a piston.
Yeah.
They famous and they rich, and they don't make no music for no radio. Like there's no radio needed.
Not one radio single.
No, they're not doing it. They're not doing it.
Not about
They
that.
Buffalo.
Not about that.
And they're not trying to be from New York, because it's New York State, but they from Buffalo.
Yeah.
Buffalo got a totally different mentality. I used to hustle in Buffalo. Bailey Avenue. I used to hustle all over Buffalo, so I'm very familiar with Buffalo. Buffalo is one of my spots, too.
Yeah.
And them niggas over there, you talk about Toronto crime. Yeah, they shoot and run. They shoot, come out the bushes. They shoot like that. Yeah, okay. Buffalo, them niggas street. It's that type of craziness.
Yeah.
It's not a joke. It's not a joke.
Next level shit.
Yeah,
It's different. It's different.
Yeah, so the problem with Toronto, it's not bad. It's not bad. It just don't make no sense.
Yeah. So what do you think that we could do over here? Because I don't know if you've been hearing from where you are, like how crazy the gun violence has gotten out here.
Well, guess what? Toronto wants to be their own identity. Artists is not going to want to come there, so it's bad for business. It's bad. Anytime you get violence, it's bad for business. You can't scare the white people over there. You scare the white people, they're closing their doors.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not Atlanta where it's black owned, black club owners, black promoters, black police, black mayor. It's not black. It's white. So if you scare the white people, you're not getting to do nothing. Don't scare the white people.
Yeah.
So the more you shoot and the more violence, the worse is off for black people. It's black and white. America is black and white. If you're a European, you're acting white. You're European. But in Canada, they want to act like everybody's equal. It's black or you're white. Who owns this? Who controls this? The black is a small percentage, and they're not owning it. So if you scare the white people again, it's bad for business.
Facts.
And everybody's going to get stereotyped. Friday's going to get stereotyped. PK is going to stereotype. These niggas doing a podcast. How are they getting stereotyped? Because the word hip hop to the public over there seems like it's violent. It's not violent, And then there's no Mexican people over there. You see like why all these artists in America could become so major, because there's a community of Chicanos, Mexican, people from Mexico, El Salvador.
Yeah.
And that takes up a lot of America, Chicago. That it may be like 80% of California is Mexican. So it's like going to Mexico. Like, who's on the radio over there? You know who's on the radio? Mexican DJs that play hip hop, live hip hop. They control the radio.
Yeah.
So if you in a city like Canada where there's no Mexicans, and if there is Mexicans, they do not fuck with black people or they don't fuck with hip hop. But in America, if you in Las Vegas, if you in Nevada, if you in California, if you in Portland, if you in Atlanta, Georgia, the Mexican community alone would make you rich if they like you.
Yeah.
So
many.
So you gotta take that and know Canada. There's no Mexicans over there. So you gonna miss a lot of the profits because the Indians and the Asian ain't buying this culture like that over there.
Yeah.
So it's very political. So they don't need the violence, because the violence is not gonna make nobody money. You know what the violence is? If you know you look at me wrong and I look at you wrong, I'm gonna shoot you. If you rob me on a deal, I'm gonna shoot you. It's all about real fuckery.
Yeah.
It's shit
Prevent,
that
like,
it's shit that every city in America went through already.
Mm-hmm.
So if Canada's going through it right now, Toronto especially going through it right now, welcome to the world. It's just how the world goes. You know, nobody want to hear their kid or their cousin or their brother or their mother son got murdered. Nobody want to hear that. But there's a reason why. It is a reason why he's in that wheelchair. It's a reason. What the reason is, we don't know. The police would never know.
Yeah.
You know, you don't know if the police is feeding the criminals. Like, yo, like that's a New York thing, like an Atlanta thing, a Chicago thing, an LA thing, where police, all the gangsters too, they know who killing the niggas.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so it gets so deep. Read a book, watch a movie, man. Take a chill pill, man. Take some CBD, do something. Because when a nigga 19, 20 killing, it's the era of killing. That's the age of killing. Like, I mean, it sounds ignorant, but you know, I go to Baltimore. I got a lot of niggas in Baltimore. When you go to jail over there, you go right to the feds. Baltimore, it's real violent. And the murder, that was the murder capital of America one time.
Baltimore.
So I'm like, Canada would never see that type of problem.
Yeah, Baltimore murderland.
Yeah, and you know, they would never see that type of problem. So the problem is a problem, but it's not a baddest problem. It's not the bad problem. So niggas just got chill, especially when they're about some money, getting a nice house, having a family. But not everybody's on that type of time. Some niggas is on that bullshit forever.
Facts. Let me ask you.
They're gonna stay on that bullshit. Niggas in their 40s stay on their bullshit. It don't matter. So the only way to stay away from violence is to stay away from the violence.
Yeah.
And if you get hit by a bullet, if you get hit by something, it just needed to happen.
Think about your choices.
Yeah. So don't be like, go find a rapper or go find a politician to talk to. There's no talking going on, man. It's gonna be niggas gonna bang if they gotta bang. That's all it is. They're gonna bang if they have to bang. Because you don't know if a nigga got 10 years beef, 5 years beef, community beef, neighborhood beef. You don't know what it is.
Yeah.
You don't know what it is. You don't know what it is. Niggas are getting popped, and then people are crying. Cry. You gonna cry. You don't know what's going on. So they need to just chill, man. Go get go drink some tea, man, and listen to Al Green. Go chill out, man.
Facts. Last couple questions here.
100%. That's some gems.
Yeah.
Some jewels right there.
Appreciate it. Last couple questions. Okay. Tory Lanez. What do you've seen Tory Lanez coming up in the game over the years, right? Since you've seen pretty much everybody coming up in the game. What are your views on Tory Lanez and like his come up and what he's doing now?
I've never seen Tory Lanez a day in my life when I was in Canada. Never seen him because we're not gonna see each other. Because I'm not like when he's wearing beads, we're wearing jewelry. He's younger. He was from Brampton.
Yeah.
We're not going to see each other. We're not going to see I'm hip hop, but it's kind of on another level of being mature. So we're not going to really see each other. But I knew his name, and he moved to LA. I'm living in LA. I don't even know how we ran into each other. I don't even know how we hooked up. I don't know nothing. But he was around me for 2 days, 3 days, and I picked him up. Yeah, I picked him up, and we went over to Melrose, and he performed in the barbershop, and everybody in the bar. We had a barbershop we used to hang out at in Melrose, and everybody, you know, he performed in there, like singing and rapping and all that. And everybody in the barbershop liked him. I took him to Hollywood Boulevard. He performed. Cause I had a business on Hollywood Boulevard, and there was a mic right beside a club called Playhouse, and there was a mic. If you know LA and you went to LA, Hollywood, and you went to Club Playhouse, we had like a store 2 doors down, and we had a mic and he performed there. And he could sing, rap, everything. Everything he's doing now, he was doing. And I'm like, man, the beads and all that gotta go. And at that time, I think he was already dealing with Sean Kingston. Then he was dealing with Soulja Boy. He was moving around in the mix, but I think he went homeless out there. Swag coach. I think he went homeless out there. You still there?
Yeah. I'm right here.
I think he went homeless. And if he went homeless, it's great. You know why? Because everybody goes to LA becomes homeless. It's like it's part of God's plan for you to come up. Not homeless like a bum. Just like I ain't got a crib to live in. Wherever I'm gonna sleep at tonight, like studio.
You're moving around.
Yeah, it's a serious part of somebody's come up in LA. Like you don't gotta come homeless in Toronto for music. You got too much family members and too much play. Oh, you can go get a white girl in Mississauga. Like you don't gotta sleep on the street.
Yeah.
But LA, it's do or die. The greatest motherfuckers became homeless. Or was homeless at one time.
There's mad stories about that type of stuff in like these Where Are They Now or Before the Fame type stories. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. And then, I wasn't a fan of the beads around his neck. I wasn't a fan of none of that shit. So it was a look, and it wasn't a look that I liked. And then about 2 years later, I seen him in the strip club. He knows the story. I seen him at a strip club, and he was I think he was hosting it or past, but something was going on. He playing his music, and then he told me, "Man, I need some more drugs," because he wore the drugs. There's videos on YouTube of him with the drugs, so see you can see there's a connection. And he said to me like, "I'm about to blow. I'm about to blow." And I think about 2 weeks later, he blew. And see, when a nigga blows, don't go ride their dick. They blew. Yeah. Give them the respect. Love that they blew. But Friday and PK, man, I made $1 million on the street. I made millions, and I touched millions of dollars. So the street was always good to me because I made $1 million and I touched millions on the street. Yeah. So I never really need to rely on a music or a rap or a singer to get girls or eat steak. Nigga, I eat steak and lobster and get. So we not really tripping on that. Yeah. But a lot of niggas that ride, they don't really get girls. They don't really. They're not providers. I'm a provider. So these niggas waiting for you to bring the meal to the table. So when Tory Lanez did that, like I said, it's somebody, but everybody that know the story, like on that barbershop, is like, "Yo, you brought that kid over there." And they laugh. And they laugh. Look at him now. You made some money. You made a name. All the rappers know who you are. You're a celebrity. Congratulations. Yeah. And you from Brampton, and you claim Toronto. Congratulations. Yeah. You did it. They need to have a congratulations award and give that nigga an award, give Champagne Poppy an award, and give The Weeknd an award. Give these people awards, man, because they made it from this place. Yeah. The
last question I got for you. How do you want people to remember Big Apple's legacy?
It depends on how they...
Sorry, before you answer that, we lost Herc. His phone probably died. You know what I'm saying? So, big up to PK Herc. You know what I'm saying? But how do you want people to remember Big Apple's legacy?
However they know me. However you know me, that's how you got to remember it. If you know me for doing this to you, if you know me for giving you that, or for me. But however, if it's jerking you, whatever the case could be, it could be selling you a dream. It could be, giving you $100, could be giving you $1,000, could be giving you a pound of weed, it could be giving you an opportunity. Yeah. However you know me, that's how you remember me. That's it. Because if you don't know me, you don't know me. However,
Apple.
and I fuck with a lot of people all over the world. So, however you know me, if you know me from driving cars, you know me from I don't take a bus, nigga. You don't know me for carrying a nigga's rap bag. I don't carry no nigga's luggage. You don't know me for that.
Yeah.
You don't know me for riding no. You don't know me for waiting in lines in clubs. You don't know me like that. You don't know me for that. So however they know me, like I said, the biggest artist in the world, Drake, Champagne Poppy, knows me as selling dreams to him. And then Big Apple with the white Hummer. He knows me in that way. So however you know me, that's how you will remember me.
Yeah.
You might know me with one leg, you might know me with two legs, you might know me with 5 holes, you might know me with 10 holes. However you know me. It's different, you know?
Yeah, man. Big Apple in the motherfucking building, dog.
Hey, yo, man, we love hip hop. Thank you for keeping my name alive, man, because you know what? Out of sight, out of mind. So put it in their minds, yo.
Yeah, man. Yo, we appreciate you, dog. You know what I mean? You're a legend out here. You know what I'm saying? You've done a lot of big things, and you've done a lot of big things for people. You know what I'm saying? So this needed to happen. Give the people your social medias. Let the people know where to find you. The places where you want them to find you.
You can find me, Big Apple's World, and the Big Apple, the brand. That's it. Those two are me.
Okay.
And we're not here I ain't here to promote clothing that I'm working on or working with. I'm not here to promote a movie that I'm working on. I'm not here to promote a documentary that we're working on. I'm not here to promote artists that I'm working with. We're not here to promote nothing. We're just here to talk to my man Friday and PK on We Live Hip Hop. That's it. We just doing some talk, man, but we ain't here to promote nothing. It's not like a rapper saying he's coming out. It's not like a video director saying his movie coming out. We're not here to promote, man. We're not using this platform to promote nothing. Just talk about it.
Well, this was legendary, dog, and I really appreciate you doing this with us. You know what I'm saying? Yes.
Not a problem.
Big Apple.
The check-in was real, yo.
For real. Big Apple in the motherfucking building. We Love Hip Hop. Legendary interview. You know what I'm saying? Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to hit that join button as well to become a member. Yeah, man. World's Most Smoked Out Podcast. Chill.